Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's a class from Canto 2, which is called the Cosmic Manifestation. Chapter 10, which is entitled Bhagavatam is the Answer to All Questions. And this morning we're doing text 34. We're fortunate to have His Grace, dear Krishna Prabhu, ISKCON Harrisburg and Berks Back to Yoga to give a class. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Right.
Hare Krishna, all devotees. Give me 1 second, Prabhuji. I think my view got changed, so I cannot see the text. Let me change my view quickly.
Can someone else confirm if they can see the text? Shane, just unmute yourself and let me know.
I think I'm good now. I got it. I got it. Yeah.
Okay, good. All
Thank
right.
you.
It's all yours now. You can get started. Hare Krishna.
If you can also make me co-host, I might want to
I already did.
share something. Yeah.
I already did.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for joining this morning. We'll start with Mangala Charan. All of you can join. Or actually, we'll start with Jai Radha Madhav. So if you want to sing, you can sing along. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Parivakacharya Ashtotat Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Parivakacharya Ashtotat Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Anant Koti Vaishnav Brind ki Jai.
Jai.
नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय.
Jai.
इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
Jai.
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय.
Jai.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय.
Jai.
वृंदावन धाम की जय.
Jai.
मथुरा मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय.
Jai.
तुलसी देवी की जय.
Jai.
गंगा माई की जय. यमुना
जय।
माई की जय. भक्ति
जय।
देवी की जय.
Jai.
समस्त भक्त वृंद की जय.
Jai.
गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि
Hari
हरि
Hari
बोलो.
Bol.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare
All glories to the
Krishna.
assembled devotees.
Hare
All
Krishna.
glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमान् कृतुदासधिकारी ते नामिने. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome once again. So today we will study the verse number 34 from Canto 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 10. And the name of the chapter is Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. So thank you, Prabhuji, for hosting every morning and giving me this opportunity to serve on this auspicious day of Ekadashi. Hare Krishna. ataḥ param sūkṣmatamam avyaktaṁ nirviśeṣaṇam anādi-madhya-nidhanaṁ nityaṁ vāṅ-manasaḥ param. ataḥ param sūkṣmatamam avyaktaṁ nirviśeṣaṇam anādi-madhya-nidhanaṁ nityaṁ vāṅ-manasaḥ param. ataḥ param sūkṣmatamam avyaktaṁ nirviśeṣaṇam anādi-madhya-nidhanaṁ nityaṁ vāṅ-manasaḥ param. Devotees can recite.
Ataparam Ataparam sūkṣmatamam avyaktaṁ nirviśeṣaṇam anādi-madhya-nidhanaṁ nityaṁ vāṅ-manasaḥ param. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Paraṁ sūkṣmatamam avyaktaṁ nirviśeṣaṇam anādi-madhya-nidhanaṁ nityaṁ vāṅ-manasaḥ param. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear. Thank you, Shinto. Anyone
ataḥ
would?
sūkṣmatamam avyaktaṁ nirviśeṣaṇam anādi-madhya-nidhanaṁ nityaṁ vāṅ-manasaḥ param. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else?
ataḥ param sūkṣmatamam avyaktaṁ nirviśeṣaṇam anādi-madhya-nidhanaṁ nityaṁ vāṅ-manasaḥ param. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Word to word meanings. Ataḥ, therefore, param, transcendental, sūkṣmatamam, finer than the finest, avyaktaṁ, unmanifested, nirviśeṣaṇam, without material desires. Without material features. Anādi, without beginning. Madhya, without an intermediate stage. Nidhanam, without end. Nityaṁ, eternal. Vāṅ, words. Manasaḥ, of the mind. Param, transcendental. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Therefore, beyond this gross manifestation is a transcendental manifestation finer than the finest form. It has no beginning, no intermediate stage, and no end. Therefore, it is beyond the limits of expression or mental speculation and is distinct from the material conception. Purport: the gross external body of the Supreme is manifested at certain intervals, and thus the external feature or the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not the eternal form of the Lord, which has no beginning, no intermediate stage, and no end. Anything which has a beginning, interim, and end is called material. The material world is begun from the Lord, and thus the form of the Lord, before the beginning of the material world, is certainly transcendental to the finest or the finer material conception. The ether in the material world is considered to be the finest. Finer than the ether is mind, intelligence, and false ego. But all 8 of the outward coverings are explained as outer coverings of the absolute truth. The absolute truth is therefore beyond the expression and speculation of material conception. He is certainly transcendental to all material conceptions. This is called nirviśeṣaṇam. One should not, however, misunderstand nirviśeṣaṇam as being without any transcendental qualifications. Viśeṣaṇam means qualities. Therefore, nir added to it means that he has no material qualities or variegatedness. This nullifying expression is described in 4 transcendental qualifications, namely unmanifested, transcendental, eternal, and beyond the conception of mind or word. Beyond the limits of words means negation of the material conception. Unless one is transcendentally situated, it is not possible to know the transcendental form of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So with the blessings and with the help of the purport of Srila Prabhupada, we'll try to understand. As we all can see, especially this section or this chapter is very technical. So, and the title of the chapter is Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. And what are these questions? These are the most important questions because they are related to self-realization. So the absolute or the most benefit of us. Knowledge of material science or material world is given to us since childhood. That's very, that's already designed in this material world. But there is no way that we get the systematic knowledge of spiritual science. So let's first offer our gratitude to Shri Shri Nitai Gaurachandra for giving us another day so that we can chant Lord's names. We can hear and study Srimad Bhagavatam and start our day on such a auspicious note. And if we think about it, there is nothing greater blessing than this, that we have another day to chant and hear and study Srimad Bhagavatam. And that too on this auspicious day of Ekadashi. Hari Bol. So let's try to give our full oral reception to this transcendental vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam, and let's try to absorb our hearts as much as we can. So in the previous section in this chapter, we were studying, hearing about how elementary creation of matter happened. How all the senses were developed, how our mind was developed, how ego, intelligence, everything developed. And if we see and understand, then we can realize that nothing in this universe got created by chance or by accident. That's why we are reading these chapters. Everything was created due to the desires of the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna. He desired, and one sense created. He desired again for certain thing, other senses got created. We already heard about all of them in the last section and last verses. So we also see these verses are quite technical in this chapter. That is why we need to understand the Srimad Bhagavatam through the via medium of our acharyas. If we were just given the verses and translation, we all ourselves can see how hard it to understand and apply them in our lives. So all glories to our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, for giving us his Bhaktivedanta purports that makes all these verses so easy and clear, very direct. So in this section, especially starting from the verse number 32, today we are reading 34, a new topic came up. What is the topic? How the spiritual form of the Lord is behind both the universal form of Lord as well as the impersonal form, which is also known as Brahma Jyoti or Brahman. So in the last verse, external energy of Shri Krishna was described. And we understood how the external energy of Krishna acts as covering, just like clouds, just like clouds cover sun from our eyes. This external energy of Krishna, it covers Krishna from our material senses, because we as conditioned souls are covered by this illusory external energy of Krishna. So it's not easy, or it's rather difficult to see and experience Krishna with these senses. People, no matter how highly educated they might be in material education, they are limited in their experience. They are limited in their vision. We all know we have a certain frequency range between which we can hear or see. Beyond or below that frequency, we can't even see or hear anything. That's why it's very hard to understand through material process the transcendental topics. So this verse, what exactly it is describing? It describes the supreme reality, the supreme truth, Shri Krishna, beyond material perception. What does it mean? It means this absolute truth. Who is absolute truth? Shri Krishna. That tattva, that absolute truth is extremely very subtle. It is unmanifested, and it is without material qualities, not without qualities, but without material qualities, and it is eternal. It has no beginning, no end. Anything material we see, it has a beginning, it has a interim state and the end state. But the absolute truth, Shri Krishna is, he has no ending, no beginning. And it is beyond the reach of our material speech and mind. So we have to accept that fact. So when we hear all this, it seems like that Supreme God is very impersonal, because we cannot interact with him through the senses. But our acharyas, through the Srimad Bhagavatam, they are actually explaining something very, very beautiful. Why it is so beautiful? Because actually it doesn't mean that Krishna has no form, that Lord has no form. It actually glorifies the transcendental form, the divine form of Shri Krishna. That he is not made up of these material elements, but he is purely spiritual. That's why our acharyas, especially Sridhar Swami, he explains this verse. In this verse, in the explanation of this verse, he says that Brahman, the spiritual reality, cannot be grasped by material senses, because our mind works through material impression. Our mind can think only in terms of what it is absorbing through material senses or material impressions. So also Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he also mentions something very important. He explains the meaning of the word nirviśeṣaṇam, which is used in this verse. It means that absolute truth, Krishna, is without material qualities. It's a very, very important statement that he is without any material qualities, but it does not mean that he is without spiritual qualities. And we will understand it more. So Krishna has qualities, he is full of qualities. He has unlimited qualities, in fact, but they are all spiritual, unlimited, and beyond our material conception. Just like if we say fire has wetness, we say fire has no wetness. Fire is, it is not like it is wet, but it does not mean that fire has no qualities. It means fire has other qualities which are not wet. Similarly, Krishna has no material qualities, but he has infinite spiritual qualities. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have seen a verse, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdiyate. So let's see how the supreme truth, the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, he is realized in three forms. So what are those three forms? Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdiyate. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These are the three realizations of the same supreme truth. How to understand these three realizations of the same person, same supreme person? Just imagine that we are traveling by a train, and we see a big mountain far away. We see a big mountain. So from within the train, what we will see? a cloudy picture initially, a hazy picture of that mountain. So that can be related to Brahman realization of the absolute truth. Then the train goes little nearer to that mountain. Now we can see big rocks, big green trees, plants, shrubs, and very clear, more clear form of the whole mountain. So that we can see the Paramatma feature, which is sitting in our heart, four-handed form. When we go more nearer to the mountain, right, then we see, oh, there are cows, other animals going up and down. There are actually some people also on that mountain. There are houses, people living there. So we get the full experience of what's going on in that mountain. And that full experience is the Bhagavan realization of the Supreme Truth. So that's how we can understand the three levels of realizations of Shri Krishna. So this absolute truth, Supreme God, Shri Krishna, is a non-dual substance. What does it mean? That all these three realizations are one, but they are seen at three different levels. Another example to understand, because it's important, is, for example, the president of a country, right? So one understanding is government as a whole. Without president, there cannot be government, right? Or prime minister, they cannot be government. Then another level of realization is president in parliament or congress, whatever they call it, right? His attire, his conduct will be different in the congress or parliament. And the same president or prime minister at home, right? He will be more casual, his attire might be different, his relationship will be different, right? But it is more formal, more informal. So just like that, we can understand Krishna also has three levels of understanding, but he is the same person. Shri Brahmaji says, he will when we will read Canto 3, he will say, there are very nice verses. Let me share my screen also. That so in chapter 9 of Canto 3, if you can see on my screen, Brahmaji says that after many years of penance, I have come to know about you. And how unfortunate the living entities are that are unable to know your personality. So Brahmaji himself, after realizing the full form of Shri Krishna, he is saying those living entities are very unfortunate, who are unable to know your personality. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada gives a very nice example of crows and ducks. Crows and ducks, please hear carefully, very nice example. Crows and ducks both belong to the birds family, birds species, right? But they have opposite interests, different interests. How? Crows are always engaged. Crows are always engaged in what? Collecting the garbage. Crows are always engaged in collecting garbage. Now, they're always looking for some garbage, picking them, accumulating, right? But at the same time, ducks, they do not mix with the crows. Although they belong to the same family, they do not mix with crows. Instead, they will take pleasure in roaming around near transparent lakes with beautiful lotus flowers, surrounded by beautiful orchards, beautiful flowers, right? So same family, but different interest. So that's how Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he differentiates people who want to understand Krishna fully or who want to be on the edge, and who are just satisfied with the Brahman realization. So what is the way to understand Lord as it is? The way is by devotional service. The process is also given. By approaching, especially by approaching the devotees of the Lord who always has the Lord in his heart. What kind of devotees we should associate with or should take association of? Those advanced devotees who carry Lord in their heart all the time. So with that, by following the process of devotional service that is given to us in a beautiful form, in beautiful package by Srila Prabhupada, we can understand Krishna in his full representation, because Brahma Jyoti or Brahman is only partial representation of same Krishna. There is another example of let's see, in Bhagavad Gita, there is a nice example that comes in this verse 12.5. Here Shri Krishna himself is saying the same thing. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. Now, this is not by Brahma, this is not by Prabhupada, this is not by me or anybody else. This is by Krishna himself. Those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme. What is impersonal feature of the Supreme? Brahma Jyoti, Brahman. Advancement in the spiritual life is very troublesome. That's why this process of Bhakti Yoga given to us by Srila Prabhupada and the whole Guru Parampara is very, very easy if we follow sincerely, and very, very quick to give us the love of Godhead, love of Krishna. And Krishna very mercifully, although we can't see Krishna with our material eyes in his full form, he appears to us in a beautiful Arch Vigraha forms. His Radha Shyam Sundar form, Radha Madhav form, Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra form. So by practicing Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of our Guru Parampara, by serving the Arch Vigraha, the deity form of Shri Krishna, Shri Gauranga, we can make very fast progress. Srila Prabhupada gives a beautiful example in this purport. I will read from the purport. We may find some mailboxes on the street. Please hear carefully. And if we post our letters in those boxes, where will they go? They will go naturally to their destination without difficulty. But if we just find any box which is not authorized by the post office, UPSC or whatever they call it, right? By the official post office, we just put a, find a box and put our letter there. It will not go anywhere. Similarly, God has an authorized representation in the deity form. So this Arch Vigraha form, when Pran Pratishtha is done officially, then it is authorized representation of Shri Krishna, Shri Gauranga. And God will accept service through that form. So we should not forget. We know, but we forget. Or when we are serving the Vigraha form, deity form, sometimes we don't have this consciousness. We lose track because of so many things going on in our mind. But when we are serving the Arch Vigraha deity form directly or indirectly, in whatever way, we might be cooking for him, we might be serving his, cleaning his temple, we might be on the altar serving that Vigraha deity, we might be doing any activity for that, keeping that deity form in mind, or to serve the deity form, we should have a full faith, because this is coming from our acharyas, that he will accept our service. So don't let anyone tell us that why you worship a stone, or why you can you see Krishna or not? Yes, we can, because the deity form of Krishna, deity form of Nitai Gaur Chandra is non-different from them. Now, in the real life, also, so before that, the personal form of Krishna is the complete realization of Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'm sure everybody on this call is aware of that. So then what is the Brahman realization, or what is the Paramatma realization? So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned that impersonal Brahman is nothing but the effulgence of his body. Whose body? Shri Krishna's body. That impersonal Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, is the effulgence coming from the body of Shri Krishna. Sometimes it is also mentioned it is the effulgence coming from the beautiful toenail of Shri Krishna. This whole, huge Brahma Jyoti. And the Lord known as Super Soul, Lord is also known as Super Soul, Paramatma, but it is localized, plenary portion, which is sitting in our heart, in each and every living entity, whether it's any species. Krishna is also sitting as Super Soul in our hearts. And Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself with full 6 opulences. Lord Chaitanya is not different from Shri Krishna in any manner. As good, he's same, and we should not even compare. Brajendra Nandan Sakshat Tumi. He's same. He's Brajendra Nandan Krishna. There should not be any doubt. Absolutely no doubt about it. So Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna himself. So to understand this Brahman, Paramatma, and the Bhagwan feature of Shri Krishna, we feel when we try to understand Krishna, we cannot see him, we cannot touch him, we cannot feel him, right? But if we see in our environment, in our material world also, for example, take the case of electricity, right? Can we see the electricity? We have lights, we have so many instruments or equipments running through electricity, but we cannot actually see the electricity. But we can see the effect of electricity through light and heat. Similarly, we cannot see Krishna with blunt senses, or these gross senses, but we can start feeling his presence by practicing bhakti yoga as we see the transformation in our heart. It can be felt through transformation of our heart when we practice bhakti yoga, when we serve Krishna through devotional service. That's the only way. Another example could be we can see the fragrance in the air. Can we see the fragrance? No, but we can feel it. So that's how the spiritual reality is. We can certainly feel it. Another very good example could be the Wi-Fi signals. So much is dependent on Wi-Fi. It goes down even for a few seconds and the whole world crumbles, right? So Wi-Fi signals are invisible, but they connect the whole world. The whole world is connected. Similarly, spiritual reality we cannot perceive, but we are connected to the Supreme God through spirituality. So that's how we can understand. Now, Let's see some other points here. Now, one important thing to understand is sometimes Brahmavadis, who are Brahmavadis, who just think that Krishna is Brahman, Brahma Jyoti. They have a desire to merge into that supreme Brahman, and they call it oneness, getting one with God. But that is not real oneness. The real oneness can be understood with a beautiful example given in our Vedic scriptures. Imagine a parrot, green parrot, and when his parrot goes or flies on the tree, the green tree, he emerges in that tree, but he has its own identity also, right? So real oneness is when we are aligned with Krishna's desires. That is oneness in spirit. Another easy example could be, let's say a father goes to a ISKCON temple Sunday feast. He feels so good. He starts chanting. He picks up the process. He starts going every week to the ISKCON temple. He starts serving, and he starts reading scriptures. He starts following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. He is very enthusiastic now. And then he shares with his family, his wife and children, that that's what I want to do. I want to chant. I want to live a Krishna conscious life. What all you want to do? The children and wife also says, we want to follow you. We also like it. We also want to chant. Now the whole family start going to temple, start chanting, start serving together. Beautiful Krishna conscious life, right? Now the whole family together is chanting, serving, and following Krishna consciousness. That is real oneness. When the whole family, whole community comes together, follow the process nicely, that is the real oneness. So that's another point I wanted to bring up. And one of the word used in this verse is avyaktaṁ, unmanifest. It does not mean, like we all repeatedly heard, that it does not mean that Krishna has no form. Instead, Krishna's beautiful form, his beauty is described elaborately in 10th canto. His flute, his peacock feather, his smile, his eyes are fully described. Also in Brahma Samhita, Sri Brahmaji sings, Venum kvanantam arvinda dalayataksam barhavatam samsitambud sundarangam kandarpakoti kamaniya visheshashobham govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. So beautiful prayers that all of us must have heard. It is sung in all ISKCON temples during Darshanarti in the morning. Shri Brahmaji is saying, I worship Govinda. Please hear carefully. Beautiful day to meditate on the form of Shri Krishna. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with a figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds. So if we can imagine, we can see he has a beautiful form, and he is unique. His unique loveliness, it is charming millions of Kamdev. So beautiful description is given. He is constantly playing Venu, flute. Why he's playing that flute? He's calling back all of us to his abode, towards him. He's attracting by that beautiful flute, the sound of flute. Arvinda Dalyataksham, his eyes are long and beautiful like petals of lotus. Arvinda, right? Barhavatsvamam, he wears peacock feather on his head. His complexion is beautiful like dark blue color. Kandarpa Koti Kamniya. His beauty is so enchanting that it surpasses the attractiveness of millions of Kamdev. And Ramaji also sings, Angani yas sakalendriya vrittimanti palayanti spanti kalayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmay sadujvala vigrahasya govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. He has all these limbs, and each limb can do the function of any other limb, because his limbs are not material, his limbs are spiritual. He can see with his hands, he can eat with his eyes, and he eternally sees, maintains, and manifests these infinite universes. Kandarpa Koti. So, unmanifest means he's unmanifest to our material senses, but he has a beautiful form. He has all the limbs. He has a body, spiritual body. So when through devotional service, our senses starts becoming purifying, then Shri Krishna starts manifesting in his full form to us. So now how to apply this verse, today's verse in practice? How to know and experience Krishna's spiritual form? So number one point is that we should accept and understand that we cannot measure Krishna with logic or word jugglery. With logic, we cannot. So what we can do? We can increase our hearing of Shri Krishna Katha and his beautiful bhajans from authorized sources that describes his names, his forms, his beautiful pastimes, his parents, his friends, his abode, but from authorized sources. So we have to find authorized sources. So for us, that particular step has been made, most crucial step has been made very easy. We have to just follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and his sincere followers in ISKCON. That is already been taken care of, right? So when we hear these bhajans and these Krishna Katha through authorized sources, then we can understand and start getting more information about Krishna's transcendental form, beauty, everything. So, and we should, of course, chant the names of Shri Krishna. Because when we chant names of Shri Krishna, when we chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we start cleaning our heart. Cheto Darpan Marjanam. And how should we chant? With full faith and understanding that this holy name of Krishna is non-different from Krishna himself. Abhinatvam Nam Naminoho. It is given in scriptures. Name of Krishna is non-different from Krishna. Although our mind, if it is not able to reach him or understand him, the name brings him to our heart. That is very, very important. Chanting with the right consciousness. Now, practical service under personal guidance of Shri Guru and his representative. We chant, we hear, and then we do practical service, right? Under the guidance. Guidance of whom? Our main Shiksha Guru is Srila Prabhupada. And his representatives are our Diksha Gurus, our temple authorities, our ISKCON spiritual authorities, right? Under their guidance, we should serve. Without guidance, the service might be going somewhere else, we don't know. Or we might be doing something wrong. It might not be pleasing to Krishna and Shri Guru. It might not be pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. It might not be pleasing to devotees. So this appearance of Shri Gaurchandra is coming on this Sunday. So this is a very good checkpoint for me. Am I feeling jubilant? Am I excited to celebrate this appearance day of Lordship in our ISKCON temple? Does my heart, it feels separation from the deities in the temple? Am I anxious about how can I make Sri Nitai Gaurchandra happy, devotees happy? Do I have this feeling of am I feeling myself unfortunate that I'm not able to serve them every day or to take their darshan every day? How can I serve Srila Prabhupada and his mission more and more? So this is a checkpoint for me. This genuine, when this mood of Krishna consciousness and anxiety is genuine in our heart, that will probably make me eligible to get noticed by Shri Gauranga. And I'm not making up these points. This is a proof from Sat Goswami Ashtakam. How our acharyas, our Goswamis were, how was their consciousness when they were serving the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Sat Goswami Ashtakam, let me share if I can on the screen. Yeah, the last verse, the last section of Sat Goswami Ashtakam is He Radhe Vraj Devi ke chalalite He Nand Suno Kuta Shri Govardhan Kalp Padap Tale Kalindi Vane Kuta. Here, how our Goswamis, all glories to all the 6 Goswamis, they were shouting and chanting everywhere in Vrindavan. O Queen of Vrindavan, Radharani, O Lalita, O son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you all now? Are you just on the hill of Govardhan, or are you under the trees on the bank of the Yamuna? Where are you? These were their moods in executing Krishna consciousness. They were so advanced. They got darshan of Gauranga himself. But they were anxious, feeling the separation of service. What does this mean for us? In my current condition state, I cannot approach Radha or Krishna directly. So I need to develop the similar mood for our Acharya, our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Parampara, our fellow devotees, our temple Vigraha. Once we get even a fraction of this taste of loving service, we will not want anything else. Param drishtava nivartante. So the last very important point is exclusive association of devotees on the same path. Association can make us, or it can break us, or it can delay us. So we can get this taste of devotional service only in the association of devotees who have tasted it or who are tasted it. Without that, we cannot taste. So 5 points, I just wanted to repeat quickly. How can we experience or try to experience Krishna's form, his beauty? Number 1, having the understanding and acceptance that we cannot do this by logic, by material process. Number 2, we have to hear more and more of Krishna Katha and bhajans from authorized sources. We have to chant with the right consciousness that Krishna and his names are non-different. Abhinatvam nam namino. Number 4, practical service under personal guidance of Shri Guru and his representatives. And number 5, exclusive association of devotees who have tasted or who are tasting this nectar of devotional service, nectar of devotion. So one more thing we can try practically is when we are chanting and we are closing our eyes, that we should have faith that although Krishna is beyond my material conception, but he is hearing my chanting. He's personally present when I'm chanting. When I'm chanting, Shri Krishna's and Radha names are going right into my heart through my ears. We can think about all these things to make our chanting more effective. It is now cleaning my heart. Feel it when we chant it. As my heart gets clean, now Shri Radha Krishna, Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra, they are manifesting in the altar of my heart. How beautiful that is, right? He accepts my small services. And then we feel grateful about it, that he is present, he is manifesting in our heart, he is giving us the opportunity to serve, and he is making himself accessible to us through this process of bhakti, right? So with that, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So this was very technical. This section is very technical. So I tried to make it easy for myself also to understand. So hope that was useful. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. If there are any comments, any questions, we can try to take them now.
Thank you very much for very nice. And as you said, it was technical. Yes, it is. Actually, the text before that are also technical. Those of us who preached it got the same impression. But thank you for bringing it down to the level that many of us can understand, if not all of us. And also backing it up with so many things about Krishna that you pulled up on the screen with the 6 Goswamis and their yearning for seeing Krishna and Srimati Radharani. And then the conclusions that you asked us to be aware of. Thank you very much. Dear devotees, this is the time to unmute yourself if you have a question, you have a comment, you have some realizations or takeaways that you want to share with all of us. Please do so. Just simply unmute yourself and start sharing or asking. Any questions or comments? Okay. Oh, Shane, Prabhu, sūkṣmatamam obeisance is called Srila Prabhupada. Please go ahead. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to the Prabhupada. Yeah, thank you for this wonderful class. I loved you had a lot of wonderful analogies, like the mailbox one with the Arch of Vigraha. I was enlightening for me to hear about. And I enjoyed the fire analogy about the how it doesn't have the quality of wetness, but it still has transcendental qualities. It doesn't not have qualities. It's so easy for a lot of us to not go past that with our mind and senses and see, well, impersonalism seems to make a lot of sense, but yeah, it makes it, that slowly goes away through devotion. So yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Accept mine humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for your comment, and I am missing your personal presence, personal form here. I miss our Sunday morning discussions. Hopefully you
too,
will.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very much. As Shane was speaking, I remember one line in the poem that Srila Prabhupada composed for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami's birthday. We were talking about it yesterday. Impersonalism, thou hast moved. Impersonalist. The whole idea of Krishna being impersonal has been moved away by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. All right. So Srila Prabhupada was praising his spiritual master for that wonderful establishment of Krishna as personal, absolutely sentient. Sentient means that you have feelings, you're like a human, everything is there. That is the absolute truth. So when you were speaking, I heard the impersonalism, thou has moved, got into my mind. Hare Krishna.
I'm so glad, Prabhu, you brought it up because I heard you were so excited here last night when we were reading Lilamrit after hearing that point. It's beautiful.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any other comments or questions? We almost
Anyone
at
would
the
like
time.
to just share anything you might have a takeaway from today, even one point or something, anything?
There was discussion as you discussed more about that shloka Vedantita Tattvadam Tattvadyatyatyaram Admayam Prameti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Sabhyati, that there is three features of the Supreme Personality of Godhead: the impersonal, the localized Paramatma, and also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. We broke it down very nicely. Thank you very much for that. Hare Krishna.
All grace to Srila Prabhupada.
Any final comments or questions? If not, then Prabhu, thank you very much for coming on. And today, as you already announced, very, very, very one timely announcement that today is the Ekadashi. For people who may not know that, it is the Ekadashi today. So we either fast completely, or you can have water, or you can have fruit, or you can have milk, or at the very least, stay away from grains and beans in the Ekadashi. And do more Krishna conscious activities too. Wonderful. All right. So we'll see you this weekend. Again, Dear Krishna Prabhu announced that there's an anniversary. Yeah, you posted, I was going to talk about that. You already put it in the chat also. This weekend, so there's two things coming up. This weekend, or specifically Sunday, there's going to be the 3rd anniversary of the appearance of our deity, Sishinita Gaurachandra, to Harrisburg. They were brought from Navadvip to Harrisburg. So the 3rd anniversary, there are quite a few devotees coming from other states to the Harrisburg temple. So it's going to be the usual time, Sunday afternoon, usual time. And then some help is needed for cut up tomorrow evening, and also for taking the flowers and breaking them up to the flower petals. That is Sunday morning. So you can go do that, and then so your services will be very much appreciated. And then Tuesday is Gopurnim. So we have Sunday and then also Tuesday evening. Hare Krishna. Jai. Vancha kalpatarubhishya kripa sindhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you again, Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so have a nice, wonderful Krishna conscious evening. Today is Ekadashi. It's again announced it because this